Hey there, YouTubers. Right, so it's going to be somewhat of a long video. We're going to look at Far Cry New Dawn and see some different benchmarks in there. We're going to basically set our CPU to defaults with power limit set to unlimited. I'm going to do it again with the block frequency set to 102.9. Then we're going to set that back to 100 megahertz and run it overclocked, all cores, 5.0 gigahertz, 1.32 volts, and 47x for the cache ratio. So in between that, I'm also going to do low and ultra settings for each one of those, right? So we'll have 6 total benchmarks to compare, and each time I run this, between defaults and the 102.9 block frequency, I will restart the game, as it seems to do a little better when I do that. So let me put a few more notes in here. Hopefully you guys are able to follow along there. Alright, so let's get the game going. Now I'm going to try and do this as one straight shot, and I think we'll turn on MSI Afterburner too, but what I'm going to do in MSI Afterburner is kill, I'm going to kill off the benchmark average. This is not going to do us any good in this one. Come on. Where are you? There we are. In case you guys don't know how to do that, you got to shut it off there. Boom. Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll here, folks. Alright. At least hopefully are. Assuming this is going to come up. Alright, one last thing. I don't have this set up, but let's see if that actually works now. Some of these games, there you go. Okay. So let's do, we're doing defaults, video, and quality. We'll start with low. Try and go low and then ultra. And boom. So this will take a while to do, folks. And if I'm good, I will summarize this at the very end. It'd be nice if I would do it with a nice graphic, but we may just use Notepad. Now you may see this video again later, as I may do a cumulative video slapping all these together. Not showing each benchmark, but the results. So our CPU's cruising along. Nothing spectacular about the CPU cooler I'm using. It's not really even a good one for overclocking. Definitely not at 5.0 gigahertz. Offhand, I couldn't tell you the exact name. ID cooling something. It comes with a single 120 millimeter fan. I've attached a second one to help with the cooling. So average FPS 144. All right. So let's go and run ultra. These guys must have bulletproof vests on. And 110. Okay. So let me exit this. We'll leave this up. So we had 144, 110. Now, since it's easiest to do this one next, and this is about the limit that this will allow me to do before it has issues, so that's why that is selected and not some other value. So I did a bunch of benchmark videos using this same setup, and it was actually really interesting, the results. I ended up taking a combination of what we're doing, some overclocking with a block frequency type overclock. So we had the cores that got adjusted and the block frequency, and was able to hit higher numbers in quite a few things. Alright, so let's go back to low. And I have to beat 144 to actually show any improvement here. So I'm using a, just so you know, I'm using a secondary computer with a Lenovo video capture card. Cost me like 50 bucks. Overall, you know, it's okay quality. If a secondary computer is used with OBS and that secondary computer is actually pretty powerful, it will record pretty good. If you use something like a laptop that has no graphics card and say an older CPU in it, your results, you know, will vary. So I actually am using an i7-10700K and a GTX 1650 to record. So we have a really powerful CPU mixed with a so-so graphics card. All right, 146. So that's an improvement, right? 2 FPS, not bad. We'll take it. So let's adjust this to ultra. I think overall this video is probably going to take anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes if I was a betting man, which is good because I'm in a hotel. I got my laundry going, and we can't afford any mistakes. All right, so we have to beat 110 here. So far, we're right at it. Now we're above it. If I was a betting man, I would say 112 is what we'll come out at. And so far, we're way up there. But this is where the big drop-off is. Boom. Look at that. FPS just plummets. So our CPU, you know, is it's getting a little warmer. Definitely warmer than it was at default, right? It has hit the low 70s a couple times. I've seen at least. And I didn't pay attention to what the CPU frequency said before, but 4,700 megahertz. Okay, 111. So not much of an improvement, right? 1 FPS. So I got to exit again. Now the reason for exiting is I actually ran through this and got mixed results. It was like every time I changed something, it wasn't changing anything in the game. It was weird. Weirdest thing. So, what do we have? 146, 111, I believe. All right. So now we're going to, we got to put this back. And I honestly, the best result will be some mixture of this and a overclock. But, well, I say that. This is a different game, so it may not be true. So we change that. We need to change this to 47, so it's 3 less. And then our core voltage. Now I'm going with one that I've used that's off the internet. I didn't go through and fine tune this. You know, for your own gear and peace of mind, you should probably slowly work up to these values and stress test, benchmark, things like that. So I think we're good here, folks. Let's start the program one more time. This is the last time. Then I can go throw my clothes in the dryer. So hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. You know, I don't know whether I would put this under, you know, educational or experimentation. If there was category on the channel, I do quite a few different things there that just to see how far I can push the limits on some of these things. Now, in a lot of aspects, only gaining 1 or 2 FPS is not worth, in my opinion, messing with the overclock or the one of the block frequency. Might as well just leave it at defaults. But all right, now if there's other things that you benefit from it, that's another story. I will say in Shadows of the Tomb Raider, I ended up with what did I get? I think I had like 14 FPS higher by the time I got done adjusting block frequency and the core overclocks. Now that is like huge. That's like, you know, going up another graphics card. Okay, so now you can see the CPU frequency is 5,000 megahertz or 5 gigahertz. We are sucking up a lot more power, as you can see. So that may be one thing that might be a benefit. If you can achieve the same results with the block frequency at a lower wattage, and, you know, assuming that we're not damaging any components. But if you can achieve better performance that route, and you're using less wattage, then that, you know, that's a win, right? But it looks like this one's going to blow both of them out of the park so far. Oh, no. Tied. Dang. Now, for a moment, it looked like it was going to be higher. And if this went to a first decimal point, you know, like a tenth, I think it probably would have beat it. But who knows? All right, so let's do Ultra. So we had 146. Hopefully I'll remember this later. And we may, you know, we may at the end, I do need to get my laundry, but we may at the end just one time run this with, we'll do a block frequency let me think here, of 101. We'll leave the 5 gigahertz overclock. And we'll run it one more time on low. We won't do ultra. So 146 on the other one, and it's dropping like a rock. And oh, boom, 111. So not even tying the block frequency. So we had 146. Oh, sorry. Actually, it did tie it. Isn't that interesting? They're exactly the same, folks. All right, let's do one more thing here. This may or may not work. And I may regret doing this. All right. So this thing's going to get super hot. I mean, it's already getting ridiculously hot, right? Let's do it, though. You know, that's one thing. Are we thermal throttling? We have not thermal throttled, so we're power limit throttled. Now, I may at some point do this to my i7-10700K when I no longer love it as much as I do. I think it's slightly better than this i9-9900KF, but so we should see higher temps. We'll see similar wattage to what we did. And let's get this rolling. And hopefully we will see an improvement on 146. So I saw 144 watts. Got a pretty good ratio between the CPU and the GPU on utilization. CPU is really just kind of cruising along, which amazes me that it's using that much wattage. If you do the same thing with a Pentium G6400, it could be cruising, I think, 50 to 100%, and it's only using 28 watts, something like that. I'd have to go back and look at the videos, but it's way lower than this CPU, obviously. All right, so we're coming towards the finish line, and we're trying to beat 146, folks. I think we're going to do it, unless there's a total drop-off, which, there is. 149, 148. Come on, get there. Get there, get there. Oh, 147. Just beat it. Nice. So, you know what? That said, let's do ultra. Screw it. If there's somebody waiting down on the machine. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm sure things probably still running. My luck. Okay. So we hope to beat 111 here. And it's not looking too good. Not looking promising unless it skyrockets here shortly. 112. 113, 114. 116, 117. Now, one thing I didn't notice was the max. We just saw it shoot up to 145 for a moment. And it's going to be close. 113, 112, and boom. So we saw a slight improvement there, folks. That's not even a full 1% increase, but I'll take it. So to summarize this, let's bring up Notepad so you guys can see what we did here at the end. Now I could try and push this more. May not be the best idea in the world. And I'm not going to do that in this video, but so we started with defaults, power limits, unlimited. We ran the benchmark. We got 144 for low. Ultra was 110. Then I increased the block frequency to 102.9. Power limit stayed set at unlimited. We got an increase at low to 146, and ultra was 111. Then I set the block frequency back to 100%. We changed the, we did an all-core 50x multiplier to get 5 gigahertz. Adjusted our V-core to 1.32. Changed our cache ratio to 47x. Left the power limit set to unlimited. We got 146, 111, which is basically the same. I left that the same, and I then adjusted the block frequency to 101. Left all the other stuff the same. We got to increase to 147 and 112. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.